Do you ever feel like time is running out? Like you're too old to chase your musical theater dreams? Well, you're not alone. In this video, I'm tackling the fear of getting older and showing you why it's never too late to create the dream and the life and career in musical theater that you deserve. As I've gotten older in my career in musical theater as both a performer and an educator, I start to feel this sense of I'm missing out, or that I'm going to hit a point in my career where I'm too old and no one's going to take me seriously. The idea that we are too old to have a career in something that is very artistic is frustrating. It's overwhelming, and it can consume you in a way that you never thought possible. When you're in your 20s in this industry, everything seems easy to take a risk. Your life is very different. You have less responsibility. And then you hit your 30s and it starts to shift a little bit. But when you get into your 40s and beyond, life is just different. Circumstances are different. But there's nothing different about having a career in this industry other than you're going to be seen and you're going to play different roles than you did in your 20s and your 30s. FOGO, as I'm calling it, fear of getting older, this feeling is very normal when you get to be in your 40s and your 50s and your 60s. So when you really pass that mid 30s, that like late 30s point in your career, especially for those of us that are women in this industry, society has taught us that our job and our purpose in life is not to be on stage, is not to be artistic and take risks and have insecure jobs and a non-stable life. And that's what this industry is. It is non-stable. It is non-secure. It is unreliable. But this is still something that you can do as you get older in your life. Society also has dictated that a normal job is something that you show up to. Someone else is in charge. You do what you are supposed to do. You play your part. You go home and you move on with your life. And that's not how our career functions. We're constantly interviewing, which is auditions for us. And as you get older, you start to feel that you are passing your prime. And a lot of the reason why is because you're showing up at auditions. Thank God most of them now are not in person, because that has been a major shift that's really going to help this fear of getting older. But you show up to auditions or callbacks, and most of the people, once you pass 30s and you're really into your 40s and beyond, most of the people are much younger. Especially if you're someone that works quite often in ensemble and in featured roles, and you're in a dance audition. It's like when you go into dance classes now, and this is like the running joke, is there's not a lot of classes for people that are past like 30 years old. A lot of the people in those classes are in their 20s or younger. It's the same thing that I've been talking about with my friends in this industry for like the last 20 years is, where do we train when we pass our 20s? Where do we train after we graduate from college? Even after I finished grad school with my MFA in musical theater, I was looking for a class that I could go to where I could still train, do scene work, get in front of people and work a new song, just like we do in our training. And having that when you're past your 20s is really hard to find, where you feel comfortable in a space with other people, similar to your age range and your level in the industry. But when you hit your 40s, completely different situation. And that fear, that age factor does impact your confidence. It impacts how you see yourself being able to continue a career in this industry. And it impacts you even beyond the job. It impacts you in your life and in the goals that you set for yourself moving forward in the next chapters. That self-doubt, that fear, that you are now to a point in your life where you can't play some roles, and will you play any other roles because there are less opportunities, that really does start to hit us as we get older in this industry. The other reason why many people leave this industry is not just the factors that I'm talking about in this video, but it's also the factors of financial stability and responsibility to a family. And it's hard to do that and navigate this as you get older, to navigate that financial balance, that life balance, that home balance. And so these factors that happen as we get older will impact if you decide to stay in this career or not. I was having a conversation recently with one of my clients, And we were talking about roles that she was right for, that she should look at, audition songs she should look at, and other people in the industry, specifically women, that align with some of the types of roles she likes to play and stories she likes to tell and music she really excels at and is her strength. And I mentioned, oh, you should look at this role. That person actually did this role as well recently on Broadway and now in the West End. And she said, oh, I can't play that role. And I said, oh, why? You're not interested? Oh, no, I'm too old. And I was like, wait, you realize that the person playing that role right now on the West End and then on Broadway is older than you, right? She didn't know. So here's something I want you to do right now. Make a list of 10 to 20 people, if you haven't already done so, the performers that you look up to, the performers that you would like to play the roles that they've played in their career or have the trajectory of their career, or you idolize them or you look up to them in whatever way. Go onto Wikipedia, Google them, and see how old they are right now. Most of them are going to be older than you even think. And I think that's something that we don't realize quite a lot. I could sit here right now and list you off the top 10 women in this industry, and majority of them are going to be over 35. Even a fourth of them, I almost can guarantee you, are going to be over 40. And if you look at all of the women roles in all of the major leading positions in musical theater, especially very recently, many of them are going to be over 40 and in their 50s, and even some in their 60s. So I'm not going to lay this out for you because I want you to do the research. I want you to discover and see how many people in this industry that you look up to, how many of them are over 35, how many of them are in their 40s and their 50s. This idea that our best part of our career is going to be in our 20s and then we get old and then your career is kind of over is absolutely ridiculous. The path that we each have individually in this career is going to be unknown. You're not going to know the path that you're going to be on because you can't control that. And the idea that one part of your career at some age is going to be better than another is very subjective. You won't know that. You won't know if you land the best job of your life and you're in your 50s. It may be when you're in your 20s and then you don't book anything else major. There's no way to know that. But allowing age to be a factor and to keep you from moving forward and to keep you from following your dream and being in musical theater is something I don't want you to do. And that dream can be professionally. It can also be doing community theater. If this is something you really have wanted to do and you never were able to because you had kids. And now you just want to go back in, and this dream is to perform roles in your community theater or your local regional theater, whether it's union or non-union. Do not let age keep you from moving forward and doing that. There are also a few ways that I've learned that have helped not only myself, but the clients and students that I work with reframe this idea of age so we can empower ourselves to know that there are opportunities available and that your career doesn't stop when you get past your 30s. Something that's been very valuable for me is to stop and ask myself, where do I see myself now in the industry? What roles do I see myself playing? And what experience do I have in my life that I can bring to those roles now? As you get older, you have more experience in life. You have more, education, more life circumstances, more highs, more lows, good and the bad. And all of that can affect the way that you play a role, the experiences, the information that you have. That really does give you more depth to a character. It gives you a different experience as a mom, as a wife, as a partner, as a brother, as a sister, as an aunt, as an uncle, as a grandmother, as a grandfather, as a sibling, as a loved one, as a widower. Any experience that you have, you can bring that to a role now. The abilities that I have now as someone that comes from the background of being a professor in theater and musical theater, from mentoring and coaching people online, from doing these YouTube videos now and being behind a camera, has led me to even have a broader career, not just as a musical theater performer, but someone that now starts to do on-camera work, commercials, television, hopefully eventually film. All of these opportunities have come out of something like creating content, doing YouTube videos, teaching online. Being an educator and a professor is something that helps me know that the roles that I fit more could very well land in that type of work. It could be a doctor, it could be a lawyer, it could be a professor, it could be a New York Times bestselling writer. And those are the roles that I tend to get called back for quite often, especially in on-camera work. I have the experience now not being a mom, but being somebody that's a motherly figure to people. And those are a lot of the roles that I'm playing now on stage as well. So this experience that you have, this life experience as you get older, is an actual benefit rather than a negative aspect. It also gives you a unique aspect to your storytelling, very different than you did 10, 20, 30 years ago. And as you get older, you also have this level of confidence that you didn't have when you were younger. And that can be a great benefit as well to landing roles. I really want to encourage you to define your goals in this industry of musical theater and not let societal expectations creep in and speak to you in your mind. Oh no, you can't do that. Oh no, that's not realistic. Oh no, that's so silly. Stay focused on what you want to do rather than what you feel like other people think that you should do. This is your time. This is your dream, and you deserve it. But no one is going to get it for you. You are going to have to go out there and actionably do something about it. Something that I find really helpful for not just me, but for my clients is to sit down and journal about this every single day. I'll put my favorite journals in the link below if you want to check them out. I have my favorite pens, but it really does give you a space to write your thoughts down and to make a pact with yourself that you are not going to give up on your dream, but you have to do something about it. So the next steps too are finding a mentor or a coach that does this. This is what I do on a daily basis. Reach out to someone you know, reach out to other people in this industry that are past their 30s, their 40s, their 50s, their 60s, and ask them what their experience has been. Ask them what they did that helped them continue to grow. And I guarantee you most of them, especially if they're people that have known you for a very long time, will be happy to share their thoughts and advice. As we get older, we tend to think that we are not a student, or we get uncomfortable taking lessons or classes. I have worked with people all the way up until their 80s in class before that I have taught. Never discount yourself as a learner, as a student. And that's the best possible advice I can give you that has helped me as I've gotten older in my career, is to show up to voice lessons. Literally be okay with failing. Be okay with saying, okay, I am older now. Haven't taken voice lessons in like whatever X amount of years for you. And this is really uncomfortable. And I'm not very good at this right now. And I can't do what I used to do. That's okay. You're going to be able to get back to it because you're an athlete, you're going to train, you're going to fail, and you're going to be even better this time because you are going to have all of that experience and knowledge that you are going to bring with you in your training now that you didn't have in your 20s and that you didn't have in your 30s. Look at this as a way for you to reinvent yourself now. Or the way that I look at it is I am creating and writing a new chapter in my book of life. This is an entirely new chapter. We may know what it is. You may have those goals written down, or you may say, I don't know what it's going to be yet. I don't know what I'm going to write in this chapter of my life, but I do know that musical theater is something that's very important to me. And if you leave this earth tomorrow, will you regret not trying for your dream, whatever it may be, in musical theater? Will you have regrets? And if your answer is yes, whether you want to say it out loud or not, then I encourage you to do something about it today. Sign up for a voice lesson, sign up for a class, reach out, ask someone for their help, even if you cannot financially afford it. Ask them if you can audit their class, ask them if you do a complimentary session, and start to create a pathway for you to move forward without fear of your age affecting the performance that you can do on stage. whatever form that may be, even if that is just standing and singing in front of a camera and posting it on YouTube. If any of this is resonating with you, please let me know down in the comments below. I would also love for you to click the like button if it was helpful, follow, subscribe for more videos. I have them coming out every single week, and that also tells me that this content is helpful for you. And if you want to check out another video, I do have this one that I think you'd really be interested in. Go take a look, check it out, and then I'll see you next week in the next video. Cheers.